Welcome to my world. Come on in. Are you there? Oh dear, I forgot my glasses. Come on in. I think you're there. It's late. Again? Or is it early? Well, I just finished another menu and I'm so excited because it's Mondays, it's Arts and Culture Day, and the sauna was terrific. And I thought, well, I'm not going to put my makeup on. I said, of course I am. It's Mondays and it's arts and culture. And it's what we do. So I love Mondays, and it has been an action-packed day. And right before I came upstairs, I'm almost out of ink. And I think I would just, well, I won't talk about ink today, but I do love it. Um, anyway, my name is Colleen Liz Frost, and you are at the 7 Days live streams. And I am Coach Colleen. I have been coaching all my life to my son of 21 years old, and I have been coached too the rest of that time. My mother was my head coach. She has passed away and 10 months ago, and she said, "Honey girl, you're going to have to be your own head coach." So here I am, 10 months into this, and I think I am getting the hang of it. So I would like to tell you that I am in development and we are moving soon, and I think it's going to work. But today is arts and culture, and I just got to tell you that Mondays is probably my favorite days, but then I'll tell you that tomorrow too. But today is so special because I spent 3 hours in New York. I have belonged to a playwright center and a playwright club for almost the full 10 months since I lost my mother. And most of my life with my mother back in the early 90s, I have been a subscriber, and now my sister buys it for me and she gives me her copy. But I have saved every New Yorker that I have gotten, and now this last 4 years I haven't read it yet because I'm saving it because I'm a hoarder, but I'm very organized. They're all filed by year, month, but I do look at a couple areas just to peek so I don't break the. How many of you love magazines? Do you just love them? I just love how they are, but do you not love the New Yorker? Look at the artwork, and it's every month. Every month there is something, and it's usually current, and there's a history behind how they pick the artist. But then it's also the articles in there, and it's the couture, some of that, the plays, what's happening on Broadway, the cartoons at the back. And it is our culture with my mother. She had tens of thousands of magazines, and it was probably the only time that my dad and mom were ever going to contemplate divorce was back in 1993 when they moved into this home, and she had her 40,000 magazines all categorized in the basement. And what happened? They were tossed. And it was so devastating for my mother that she did contemplate leaving dad over it for about a week or more. But it was devastating to her. So I do rent a storage shed from Brad Helmke. He is one of my people. And I protect my magazines. And you're the only ones that know of my storage shed. So please do not tell my family. Again, this is a covert thing. And because I'm now with my people here, I wanted just to make it a very, if you have something sacred, I suggest go with a storage shed. Because in your home, you should live in your home. And as much as we pay in taxes, we should also be able to use our whole home. So I say call Brad and he will hook you up into the storage sheds. And getting back to my arts and culture, I want to tell you that magazines are our culture, and there is no better place to find proper things to hack than in a magazine. I boil it down to even fonts. I love looking at how they place them together and how they go from page to page. Harper's Bazaar is probably one of my favorites. Anyway, so I think it's a great place, and we used to just call it, borrowing, or yeah, I don't know. We used to just call it research or education or learning from. But I want to tell you that Soren Kierkegaard is another person that I was raised on from my mother and Mrs. Dorholt. And one of his descriptions about hope is about passion. Hope is passion for the possible. And how do we know what's possible if we don't go out there and look at the people that had some possibilities on the table? And the one thing that I'm trying to help with my future grandkids, and for those of you who are interested, is how to develop a purpose on purpose. And I want us to take a look at Arts and Culture Day and really look backwards, look at today, and imagine who's coming tomorrow that we can study from, learn from, and then find teachers like I did. One being Mrs. Dorholt, obviously my mother. And today in my play class, there is a teacher. Her name is Winter. And the difference between the good teachers and I feel the ones that are uh, not very good at hacking, the good teachers understand how to borrow from the best. I'll give you an example, even in basketball. There are some people that say, oh, I like to hold my arm like this. It's my way, my way. Well, I knew a jump shot woman, and she had the perfect way, the perfect jump shot. So what I did is I decided to live in her armpit, and I wanted to learn exactly how she did it. And I studied her. I think I would eat her sweat socks to learn how to do her jump shot. And I came close. But that's what I mean about hacking the best. So I have 3 people that I want to just mention lightly because these people will be in depth in my Club 33. But one of them is Sister Sylvia. She was my own personal nun. We did buy her home. I put the home in a trust for my son, and I do have lifetime rights to live there. But when I met her, she told me about the person that she hacked. She learned how to paint in her living room on a TV about this big from Bob Ross. And he taught her how to paint, and she did it exactly like him. And then she said, I felt the freedom that my pencil would just go and go. And someday on one of my special videos, I'm going to show you what she spent 12 years painting on one picture. I mean, she painted hundreds of pictures, but she had one very special painting that she worked on for 12 years. Now, Bob Ross is a very happy painter. Sister Sylvia was also a happy painter. But when she was painting certain things, she became very sad. And the one story that she told me over time was about this one painting and how she would cry to the depths of her soul while painting, and how she used 12, 13 different instruments to paint on this one painting. And finally, when her soul was lifted and she felt no more tears, she finally put the pen down and she was able to share it with the public. And this is what I mean about a teacher. She took Adam by his hand, and he was little at the time, barely 3 years old. And she told him what to paint, how to paint, and she drew and she traced. She says, just copy me, hack me. And he did everything she said, exactly how she said it. He absolutely thought she was Picasso. And she taught him about Picasso too. And then Sister Sylvia got to learn Adam. And as he was painting and coloring and doing all the different art projects, she would nudge him into Adam, into his art. And that is how you create an artist. So today, I want to also mention my mother. I wanted to be just like her. I mocked her in the mirror when I was getting ready tonight. I thought, this is how mother did it. This is how mother did it. But then I put a little Colleen on it too. But I did. I studied her. I would get up at night and just look at her just to make sure that now, how did she do her eyebrows? And I still can't do mine the way she did. So there are people right at your dinner table that you, I'm sure, are studying and hacking real close. And then it was my mother who said, put your own self in you. You only get one you, and God made you only to be you. And she helped me find my own crown, to be rare. She says, you are rare. There's only one you. And so she said, and everyone has a right to their own art. And so I want to say that that teacher, my mother, helped me become my own artist. But I studied her, and I studied her magazines. In the last 4 years of her life, we did go to New York every day. It was between 1600 Broadway and Gramercy Park. And we absolutely had hope with such passion that I was such physically there in my mind's eye. I even found webcams that we could lurch on and follow the path. And she loved it. She says, honey, you have to believe it in your soul and see yourself there. And she just got me ready to live life without her. And then today at my play class, here's what they do. We have writing assignments like you've never seen. And I don't even know how to describe how she pulls us out of the hack. But she does. I've been writing for many years, and I don't know really who I've been hacking, but I'm a hacker of many writers. You know, I tried to just change my formatting here with you all last week. And I thought to myself, that's not me. And so I'm back to doing my letter writing. But tonight, now she again gave us these lessons at the beginning. And then the class, there's, I don't know how many of us, but they were able to read our work. And I had my scene, and tonight was my chance to have my scene written or read. And it really was me. She was able to get me out and put my story into my scene. I tell you, it was so emotional to have that happen. And then to see the classmates, these other writers that are, some are published, and it was emotional, to say the least. And I'm so honored to be amongst them. But when you find a teacher that can lift all your experiences up and then twist you upside down and help spin you around until you can find your stories in there to mix it all together, then voila, outshines your light. That to me is art. That's your own art. So I encourage all of us to grab that magazine, go find some mentors that you love and hack them. And then as you become interested in that passion that they have, maybe you don't even know if you have that passion, but go hack somebody else's passion. See if it's going to be your passion. You know, I don't even know how I like my eggs. And I'm 57 years old. I'm trying to hack an egg recipe. I don't even know if I want to eat eggs anymore, but I'm thinking about it. So we have to keep discovering our hacks. And I want to keep growing my passions. You know, I think it is our culture. It's my culture here, but I think it's your culture there too. And I want to do it on purpose with you. So my New Yorker magazines, I'm treasuring them, I'm hoarding them, and I know that they have hacks waiting for me. I'm excited to share these stories with you, and I can't I think everybody has a teacher like I've had in their life. I hope to have you share your stories with me and how you found your purpose. Um, Mondays are for those who dare. Be avant garde, be rare. That's my message for you tonight. And I think we all are rare in our own way. Remember me, number 33, your coach that lives with passion, on purpose. Sincerely, Colleen.